All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning. I'm Saira Mujtaba and with me is Subhadra Ramachandran. The headlines. Second dose of COVID-19 vaccine to be administered to healthcare workers in the country today. Budget is a blend of stimulus package and a long-term growth model, says Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman. Discussion on budget to resume in Lok Sabha at 10 this morning. Earthquake of 6.3 magnitude strikes Tajikistan, tremors felt in several states of North India. World Radio Day is being observed today. In cricket, second test match between India and England to kick off in Chennai today. As the nation fights the COVID-19 pandemic, we begin with the message of precaution to stay safe and protected by following these three simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. And now the news in detail. The second dose of COVID-19 vaccine will be administered to the healthcare workers from today. It will be given to the beneficiaries who have taken the first dose on 16th of January, the day when the world's largest immunization drive was launched. The second dose is given to the beneficiaries after an interval of 28 days of the first dose. Speaking exclusively to All India Radio News, Dr. Randeep Guleria, Director AIIMS, said, as soon as people are vaccinated, the country will come out of the pandemic.
Today now we are starting the second dose of the vaccination. I would request everyone who is due for the second dose, according to his convenience, to come forward and take the second dose. I would also request all those who have not taken the first dose also to come forward and take the first dose of the vaccine also. By getting everyone vaccinated as early as possible, we will be able to come out of this pandemic in a very smooth manner.
In Maharashtra, over 648,000 healthcare and frontline workers have been vaccinated so far. According to an official from the State Health Department, 5,524 beneficiaries have been given jabs of indigenously made Covaxin. More from our Mumbai correspondent.
More than 40,000 health and frontline workers were vaccinated yesterday in Maharashtra. Mumbai Suburban is leading in vaccination drive as 69,245 beneficiaries have been inoculated so far, followed by Pune with 59,621 and Mumbai with 33,356. A total of 796 sessions were organized yesterday across the state, where 40,000 beneficiaries were inoculated with Covishield vaccine, whereas 239 were given Covaxin. Meantime, with 3,670 new cases, Maharashtra's caseload has increased to 20,56,575. Madhuri Pange, AIR News, Mumbai.
In Gujarat, 25,823 people have been vaccinated in the last 24 hours. They have been vaccinated through 786 vaccination centers across the state. Our Ahmedabad correspondent reports that the total number of people vaccinated in the state has reached up to 7,67,611.
268 new cases of COVID-19 infection have been reported in Gujarat during the last 24 hours. 281 patients have been discharged from the hospitals after recovery. Total 258,551 patients recovered from COVID-19 till now. The recovery rate has reached up to 97.67%. The state has now 1,768 active cases, out of which 28 patients are on ventilator. Maximum 60 new cases reported from Ahmedabad, while Vadodara recorded 53 new cases. According to sources, not a single positive case reported from 10 districts and 1 municipal corporation area of the state yesterday. Yogesh Pandya, AIR News, Ahmedabad.
In Jharkhand, around 2,01,862 healthcare workers and frontline workers have been inoculated with COVID-19 vaccine. Beneficiaries who have taken the first dose of the vaccine earlier will be getting the second dose of the vaccine from today. We have more from our correspondent.
Jharkhand is among the top 10 states to have recorded the highest number of vaccinations yesterday. 58% of vaccination target has been achieved by the State Health Department. Ravi Shankar Shukla, NHM Campaign Director, informed AIR News that the second dose of COVID vaccine to beneficiaries who have been inoculated with first dose on January 16 will begin from today in the state. Presently, 66% of health workers registered in the first phase of the vaccination drive have been administered with COVID vaccine. Principal Health Secretary K.K. Soon has confirmed to achieve a 100% target of inoculating health workers by this February 20. Shilpi, AIR News, Ranchi.
In Bihar, 4 doctors, including a civil surgeon of Jamui district of the state, were suspended who were found guilty in the COVID-19 testing fraud. Health Minister Mangal Pandey said 3 contract employees have also been suspended. Mr. Pandey said altogether 12 teams were formed by the department to investigate the case across the state. He said after an investigation by Jamui DM, certain irregularities on the part of the civil surgeon in fudging COVID-19 data was found and DM had recommended strict action. 4,69,659 healthcare and frontline workers have been vaccinated so far in the state. No side effect of the vaccine has been reported from any part of the state. COVID-19 recovery rate has improved to 99.15% in Bihar.
India has supplied a total of 229.7 lakh doses of COVID-19 vaccines to the global community under the Vaccine Maitri initiative till now. Addressing the media in New Delhi, External Affairs Ministry spokesperson Anurag Srivastava said that of these 64.7 lakh doses have been supplied as grant, while 165 lakh doses have been supplied on a commercial basis. The countries who have received supplies of vaccines as gifts include Bangladesh, Myanmar, Nepal, Bhutan, Maldives, Mauritius, Seychelles, Sri Lanka, Bahrain, Oman, Afghanistan, Barbados and Dominica. The spokesperson also said that the countries which have received vaccine supplies on a commercial basis include Brazil, Morocco, Egypt, Algeria, South Africa, Kuwait and UAE. Mr. Srivastava said that India will continue to take forward the Global Vaccine Supply Initiative and cover more countries in a phased manner. In the coming weeks, vaccines will be supplied to more countries in Africa, Latin America, CARICOM and Pacific Island states. Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has said the budget is a blend of a stimulus package and a long-term growth model. She was replying to the discussion on Union budget in Rajya Sabha yesterday.
The attempt made in this budget is to provide a strong and such a stimulus which can bring in multiplier effect, and therefore instead of finding quick short-term solutions, even as we provide short-term, quick relief for those people who so desperately need it, we are looking at also medium-term, long-term, sustainable growth.
Ms. Sitharaman reiterated the centre's commitment towards development of farmers and workers in the country. Ms. Sitharaman hailed the budget as an important step towards Atmanirbhar Bharat.
A budget which is for Atmanirbhar Bharat. It's a budget which clearly draws on the experience, the administrative capacities and also the exposure that the Prime Minister has had and his commitment towards development, growth and reform. So these 3 things are essentially infused in the budget in the sense it is the instrument through which Atmanirbhar Bharat is to be attained.
Highlighting the major schemes of the government, which she said helped people during the times of the corona pandemic, the minister informed that nearly 800 million people in the country were provided free food grains. Rajya Sabha concluded the first part of the budget session following the finance minister's reply. Rajya Sabha recorded 99% productivity in the 2-week-long first part of the session. The second part of the budget session will commence from 8th of March.
The sitting of the Lok Sabha will be held at 10 a.m. today instead of 4 p.m. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman will reply to the discussion on Union Budget for 2021-2022 in the House. Besides, the Jammu and Kashmir Reorganisation Amendment Bill is also listed in the business of the Lok Sabha. The bill has already been passed by the Rajya Sabha. The government has proposed over 93,224 crore rupees for Ministry of Education in the Union Budget 2021-2022. Out of the total allocation, over 54,873 crore rupees have been kept for Department of School Education and Literacy and nearly 38,350 crore rupees for Department of Higher Education. While presenting the Union Budget 2021-22 in Parliament, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman announced setting up of 100 new scenic schools in partnership with non-governmental organizations, private schools and states.
In school education, more than 15,000 schools will be qualitatively strengthened to include all components of the national education policy. They shall emerge as exemplar schools in their regions, hand-holding and mentoring other schools to achieve the ideals of policy. 100 new scenic schools will be set up in partnership with NGOs, private schools and states. Higher education. In Budget 2019-20, I had mentioned about the setting up of a Higher Education Commission in India. We would be introducing the legislation this year to implement the same. It will be an umbrella body having 4 separate vehicles for standard setting, accreditation, regulation and funding.
We have more from our correspondent.
The budget allocation for Department of Higher Education for 2021-22 is nearly 5,450 crore rupees more than the revised estimates of current year. The government has made a budgetary provision of 3,000 crore rupees for Rashtriya Uchtar Shiksha Abhiyan for financial year 2021-22 in comparison to 300 crore rupees of the current fiscal year. For promotion of innovation and research and development, an outlay of 50,000 crore rupees over next 5 years has been kept for National Research Foundation. Its major beneficiaries will be higher education institutions including IITs and NITs. The Finance Minister also announced to set up a new central university in Leh. The budget provision for Department of School Education and Literacy has also been increased and it is 2,684 crore rupees more than the revised estimates of 2020-21. The budget allocation in the flagship scheme of Samagra Shiksha has been increased to nearly 31,050 crore rupees. Anand Kumar, AIR News, Delhi.
In Uttar Pradesh, the government is all set for paperless proceedings of the state legislature and to present a paperless budget during the upcoming session of state legislature from 18th of this month. The legislature administration yesterday started a 3-day training of members for paperless proceedings of the House. More from our Lucknow correspondent.
Parliamentary Affairs Minister Suresh Khanna told that the training program of all the members of the legislature, Vidhan Sabha and Vidhan Parishad for paperless conduct of legislature proceedings and smooth working on iPad has been started. Under the training program, 6 training sessions of 3 hours each will be carried out till Sunday. First to 5th training sessions have been set for the members of the Legislative Assembly and the 6th session has been scheduled for members of the Legislative Council. He said, in accordance with the instructions of Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath, State Legislative Assembly, likewise Union Government will present paperless budget this time. MS Yadav, AIR News, Lucknow.
The Government of India, Chhattisgarh Government and the World Bank have signed a $100 million loan project to develop sustainable production system. It will allow tribal households in remote areas of Chhattisgarh to practice round-the-year production of diversified and nutritious food. The Ministry of Finance in a statement said, Chhattisgarh Inclusive Rural and Accelerated Agriculture Growth Project, or CHIRAG, will be implemented in the southern tribal majority region of the state, where a large population is undernourished and poor. The project will benefit over 1.8 lakh households from about 1,000 villages in 8 districts of Chhattisgarh.
You are listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Second dose of COVID-19 vaccine to be administered to healthcare workers in the country today. Budget is a blend of stimulus package and a long-term growth model, says Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman. Discussion on budget to resume in Lok Sabha at 10 this morning. Earthquake of 6.3 magnitude strikes Tajikistan. Tremors felt in several states of North India. World Radio Day is being observed today. And in cricket, second test match between India and England to kick off in Chennai today.
A high-intensity earthquake hit Tajikistan last night, tremors of which were felt in Delhi NCR and several other parts of North India, including Punjab, Haryana and Chandigarh and Himachal Pradesh. The tremors created panic among people who rushed out of their homes. However, there were no immediate reports of any loss of life or damage to property. The seismology department at first erroneously gave the epicenter as Amritsar and put the quake's depth at 19 kilometers. It later sent a revised statement to confirm the quake was in Tajikistan. It ascribed the error to a software mistake. According to the National Center for Seismology, NCS, the magnitude of the quake was 6.3. Talking exclusively to All India Radio News, scientist R.K. Singh said the epicenter of the earthquake was in Tajikistan.
An earthquake of magnitude 6.3 occurred on yesterday at 22:31 IST. It was in the Tajikistan area at the depth of 74 kilometers. Being a deeper earthquake, it was felt widely in as far as away more than 1,000 kilometers at Delhi from the epicentral area. The epicenter is active region, and there are earthquakes keep on coming in this area. As per available scientific knowledge, it is not possible to predict the earthquake in terms of time, space, and magnitude. So monitoring is the only key, and we are monitoring the earthquake activity in and around countries.
In Uttarakhand, fighting against all odds, the rescue and search operation for the 25 to 35 people trapped inside the tunnel continued overnight at the Tapovan area of Chamoli district. Rescue teams are very close to the second tunnel, which will give an idea about the trapped people. AIR correspondent, who is reporting the calamity at Ground Zero, reports that one missing engineer's body was found yesterday. To date, 38 bodies have been recovered and around 166 people are still missing.
Vertical drilling continued whole night to reach to another small tunnel which is 13 meters beneath the present tunnel where search operation was going on from last 6 days. Drilling of 75 millimeter diameter in about 12 meter long hole from present tunnel to slit flushing tunnel is successful. Currently, no water or slush pressure is being observed in slit flushing tunnel. Drilling of larger hole is being done since diameter of borehole should be 250 to 300 millimeter for cameras to reach properly. Mucking from present tunnel is also in progress. Meanwhile, an SDRF team has reached the lake that has formed upstream of Rani village near Tapovan. They found that the water is getting discharged from the lake, which appears to be around 350 meters long. On the other hand, search operations for missing persons also continues along with Alaknanda River. Teams of Border Road Organization are working round the clock to re-establish connectivity at the earliest. With Raghavesh Pandey in Dehradun, this is Sushil Chandra Tiwari, Rani Village, Tapovan, Chamoli.
A top-level team of Central Election Commission reached Kerala last night to assess the preparedness for the upcoming assembly elections. We have more from our Thiruvananthapuram correspondent.
The team led by Chief Election Commissioner Sunil Arora, Election Commissioner Sushil Chandra, Rajiv Kumar and other senior officials will hold a series of discussions in the state till February 15th. The team will meet Chief Electoral Officer, Police Nodal Officer, Chief Secretary and other top officials in the state. They will also hold discussions with the representatives of various political parties and also interact with various agencies deployed for election duty. The team will return to New Delhi on February 15th. Mayusha for AR News from Thiruvananthapuram.
Ministry of Railways has decided to replace the rake of Agartala Anand Vihar Terminal Special Rajdhani Express with Tejas sleeper coaches with upgraded facilities. The ministry said it will offer better connectivity to the national capital. Provided with smart features, the coaches of this new sleeper type Tejas train will offer best-in-class travel experience.
World Radio Day is being celebrated across the globe today. The day was proclaimed by the member states of UNESCO in 2011 and subsequently adopted by the United Nations General Assembly in 2021 as an international day. According to UNESCO, radio is a powerful medium for celebrating humanity and constitutes a platform for democratic discourse. We have a report.
One of the most widely consumed medium at the global level, radio has the ability to reach out to the widest audience, in the process having the ability to shape a society's experience of diversity and providing a platform for everyone to be represented and heard. On the occasion of World Radio Day 2021, UNESCO called on radio stations to celebrate this event's 10th anniversary and more than 110 years of radio. The theme of World Radio Day 2021, New World, New Radio, will highlight the services rendered by the radio medium throughout the crisis. Akash Sinha for News Desk, All India Radio.
Information and Broadcasting Minister Prakash Javadekar has extended his greetings to all on the occasion of World Radio Day. In a tweet, the minister said the reach of radio is continuously expanding. Union Minister Prakash Javadekar has said that no Akashvani Kendra in the country will be closed or downgraded. Replying to questions in Lok Sabha during question hour yesterday, Mr. Javadekar said because COVID has impacted all sectors, All India Radio and FM radios have definitely suffered.
एक भी आकाशवाणी केंद्र, आकाशवाणी का ही मुख्य मुद्दा है, तो एक भी आकाशवाणी केंद्र बंद नहीं होगा और कोई एक भी डाउनग्रेड नहीं होगा। अब जमाना बदल गया, टेक्नोलॉजी बदल गई, लोग मोबाइल से लेते हैं और मोबाइल से लाइव करते हैं यहाँ अपने संसद के प्रांगण से। तो ये जब कर सकते हैं तो अब टेक्नोलॉजी बदल गई तो उतने परमानेंट पदों की जरूरत नहीं होती है। हमने पहले तो मैन पावर ऑडिट किया और अब ये स्थिति साफ हो गई कि कितने लोग हैं, कितने वैकेंसीज पदों की है, लेकिन कितनी की जरूरत है और उसके अनुसार हम नई योजना बना रहे हैं। रिक्रूटमेंट बोर्ड आ गया है और भर्ती प्रक्रिया शुरू होगी।
Made in India microblogging site Koo has gained momentum. The app was launched in March 2020. Details from our correspondent.
Many Indians have joined the Made in India Koo app. The app is the winner of Atmanirbhar Bharat App Innovation Challenge 2. The app is available in English as well as several other Indian languages. The app has a word limit of 400 characters and it has also the features of sharing updates on WhatsApp and other social media platforms. Talking to All India Radio News, the CEO of Koo app, Apramya Radhakrishna, said that they are truly an Atmanirbhar app and they have ensured that it is safe for its users.
We had the vision to basically give voice to every Indian irrespective of the language they speak. And we truly want to give a voice to every Indian, irrespective of which language you speak. Well, we're a truly Atmanirbhar app. We are based in Bangalore. Our servers are based in India, in Mumbai, and we are building for India.
Several Indians have joined the Koo app. Amongst them is the author Amish Tripathi as well. Speaking to All India Radio News, he said, giving a chance to Indian talent is better than promoting foreign apps.
I think the fact that the Koo app is available in several Indian languages is a key comparative advantage. Even those of us who speak English are often more comfortable in our own language, in our mother tongue. And for most Indians, English is the language of work, but the language of our heart is usually our own mother tongue. We find it much more easy to communicate in our own language, and that's a huge comparative advantage. And so obviously it's much better to give a chance to Indian talent to come to the fore in all our apps rather than allowing foreign apps to dominate.
Since the app is homegrown, the concerns of data privacy too have been put to rest. Talking to AIR News, cyber expert Jiten Jain further elaborated on this aspect.
Well, it is an Indian company, so the question of jurisdiction is solved. They would have to comply with Indian law. So far as the data privacy is concerned, as long as they host data in India, as long as they don't share data with third-party companies without the consent of users, so we can safely assume data will be safe.
Like Koo, several other Indian apps are now available for the ease of domestic users, furthering the vision of Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan. It is an example of the entrepreneurship and innovative spirit of the generation next. Diksha Saxena, AIR News.
The Mughal Gardens at Rashtrapati Bhavan will be open for the general public from today. The gardens will remain open till 21st March and people can visit between 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. except on Mondays. The precautionary measures, walk-in entry, will not be available this year. Visitors will be allowed to see the gardens only through advance online booking. The booking can be made on www.rashtrapatisachivalaya.gov.in. During the tour, visitors have to follow COVID protocols like wearing of masks and maintaining social distance. The second Test cricket between India and England begins at M.A. Chidambaram Stadium in Chennai today. The stadium that hosted the first Test match has been curated for the second Test as well. The hosts will try to pull out a victory in the second Test as they were defeated by a huge margin in the first one. We have more from our correspondent.
Though this is the second Test match to be played out in the historic M.A. Chidambaram Stadium at Chepauk in Chennai after a long drought, this is the first one to be watched by the die-hard cricket fans in person post-COVID-19 COVID-19 pandemic. The organizers are enthused by the reception to the game as the tickets were sold out fully in record time. Incidentally, the last time Chennai hosted a test match has also been against England. The red ball action was held in December 2016. Though fans are allowed this time, only 50% of the gallery are thrown open to maintain social distancing. Jai Singh, AR News, Chennai.
The News Services Division of All India Radio in its bilingual live phone-in program today will bring you a special discussion on COVID-19. Dr. Sanjeev Kumar from AIIMS, Patna will participate in the discussion. Listeners can ask questions to the expert on toll-free telephone number 1800-115767. You can also ask questions on telephone number 011-2331-4444 and post queries on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts by hashtag AskAIR. This can be heard tonight on FM Gold channel and additional frequencies from 9:30 p.m. onwards. And now let's take a look at the weather update for today. National capital Delhi experienced dense fog during early morning hours. Minimum temperature recorded was 10 degrees Celsius, while maximum will be around 27 degrees. Mumbai will see a mainly clear sky with temperature varying between 20 and 35 degrees Celsius. Chennai saw fog or mist in the morning and will have a partly cloudy sky later. The temperature will fluctuate between 21 and 30 degrees Celsius. Kolkata saw fog in the morning and will have a partly cloudy sky later. Minimum temperature was 21, while maximum may go up to 30 degrees. Jammu will see a partly cloudy sky. The minimum temperature in the city was 11 degrees Celsius, while maximum will be around 21 degrees. Srinagar will see a partly cloudy sky that will become generally cloudy towards the evening. Minimum temperature in the city was 1 degree Celsius, while it is expected to rise up to around 10 degrees Celsius. Leh will see a mainly clear sky. Minimum and maximum temperature will be 10 and 6 degrees respectively. Gilgit will have a mainly clear sky. Temperature will hover between -2 and 19 degrees Celsius. Muzaffarabad will have a generally cloudy sky. Temperature will hover between 7 and 20 degrees Celsius.
And now an overview of today's newspapers. All papers have covered the rollout of the second dose of the COVID vaccine beginning today, while the rescue operations in Uttarakhand are also prominently noticed by the press. India begins rollout of second shot today, writes Hindustan Times. The Weekend Business Standard headlines, ready for round 3 but no decision on who'll pay. The Pioneer notes, lake formed by Chamoli debris a potential threat, while the Tribune headlines, days on, 2 more bodies found, the Pawan tunnel a challenge. The Tribune also notes the development of the disengagement process at LAC. The paper headlines, tanks to shift 20 kilometers from pullback site, adding, Defence Ministry says, no territory ceded in disengagement process at Pangong Tso. And finally, emphasizing the autonomy of an individual in choosing one's life partner, the Supreme Court says, free to choose life partner, approval of kin and clan not must, notes the Tribune.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Second dose of COVID-19 vaccine to be administered to healthcare workers in the country today. Budget is a blend of stimulus package and a long-term growth model, says Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman. Discussion on budget to resume in Lok Sabha at 10 this morning. Earthquake of 6.3 magnitude strikes Tajikistan. Tremors felt in several states of North India. World Radio Day is being observed today. And in cricket, second test match between India and England to kick off in Chennai today. For details of these stories and more, log on to our website www.newsonair.com and News on AIR app. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a great day.